All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for a couple of real people out there just like you and just like me. All right, Tommy DeCarlo got the t-shirt and the CD. Thank you, Tommy DeCarlo. Dancing in the Moonlight. Please go check this out. It's brilliant. It's amazing. It's melodic rock at its finest, and it sounds a little like this band I used to listen to back when I lived in New England, and they were from New England too. That's all I can tell you. That's all I could say. Can't say any more about it. It's really good. It's not really good. The two planes. Journey has two planes now. There's an Arnel plane, and there's a Jason Derlotka plane. Okay, now there's a Neal plane and there's a John plane. John Cain posted a picture, and he and Arnel on the plane. So I don't know, folks. I'm thinking the credit card right now. Aren't you kind of running up the credit card because you guys can't fly on the same plane? And whatever happened to the tour bus, man? Remember Steve Perry faithfully in the tour bus? Isn't faithfully when you're riding in the bus and you miss that girlfriend who you left behind, that significant other? It's just, oh man, there's not much really to say about this other than, you've got everybody out there screaming and yelling about Arnel and he's going to leave Journey. Yeah, he might leave Journey. A lot of this might just implode at any moment. I think it would be kind of cool. Don't take this the wrong way, but it would be cool and dramatic if something happened while they were still touring and not after the tour. Because after the tour, I think Neal is going to take the people he likes and do the things that he wants to do. John, I think, is going to go back to his church and do the stuff that he's been doing, and then go to the Trump rallies and maybe not play Don't Stop Believin', or maybe he will. I mean, the legal team has to really get in there to stop him to do that. And he's going to say, well, I'm a co-write. I've got a co-write on this. You'd have to hear from Steve Perry, I think. And Steve did say a while ago that he didn't approve of political candidates using his music. But this might be a little bit different depending on the context, how it's being used. Look, folks, the drama is fun. It's interesting. It's good for the channel. Apparently, it's not as good for my channel as it is for other channels. Let's just be honest about this. Is this sour grapes on my part? Nah. I've had a good run. I've done this for a long time. 7 years on YouTube, and stuck at 64K. And there are people in chat rooms that are still pissed off that I'm at 64,000 because I'm lurking in the shadows and I'm not on social media. I wouldn't have it any other way. I've got a family and I've got stuff to do. And I lament the time that you waste worrying about stupid crap. So, yeah, it's interesting to note people are sending me photos of the Twitter post and so forth. And this isn't surprising. I mean, this has been telegraphed. Look, when Team Neal came forward and said there were two guys preventing Greg Rolie from hanging out with the band on their 50th, I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure I know who this is, even before it was revealed. But it's frustrating as a longtime fan of this band. And I definitely had a couple of those Greg Rolie albums back in the day. And what did Greg do? Greg said, okay, see you later. John, I recommend you for this job. Bye. That's what Greg Rolie did. And Cain took the job. He did a great job for a while. for a very long time. No question about it. John Cain, very important to this band. But fans are still thinking that, hey, why would you want to prevent Greg Rolie from celebrating on the 50th anniversary? And that's the prevailing sentiment, whether you're pro John, pro Arnel, pro Neal, pro whoever else on Team Neal. And by the way, Team Neal has 4 players. You got Jason, Deen, Neal, and Todd. And what do those guys have in common? I think they were all hired by Neal Schon. What's weird is, so was Arnel. Arnel was discovered by Neal Schon. So again, my take on this is that, yeah, Arnel is probably feeling mistreated or feeling as though he's being attacked unnecessarily. But if he's going out there and saying, I don't want to work with Greg Rolie and I don't want him here, I mean, that doesn't sound like something Arnel would do or say. Arnel was very humble. So something changed. Somebody said, hey, come over here. Come over here. Come over on this side. And I'll provide you a little bit of security and a little bit of cover for the media onslaught. That's my theory about it, because I don't think Arnel is the guy to even take a side. If he wants to remain above the fray, don't talk about it. See, and I've got to learn too. When somebody sends me something that somebody said about me, and I get this because I have patrons, they're very loyal, good people. The people that like this channel, that are patrons, they'll alert me to things and they'll be like, so what are you going to do? Like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to smile and be grateful for the things that I have, and the fact that somebody is putting me in one of their videos or going after me shows that I've kind of, I've done pretty well for myself. Nobody would talk about me if I didn't have some kind of an input, some influence out there, but it's really minuscule compared to a lot of other channels, some very new channels. Like I say, it's frustrating from that end. And I know a lot of what's out there that's popular now is quick 2, 3, 4-minute videos and, cutting edge production and cool music and the best camera angles. And, I'm still trying to figure out how to get the best sound out of a microphone. It's pretty sad, but it's true. Remember, folks, I used to do videos in my backyard at a crappy house that I used to rent on a different part of town. I don't live in that area anymore, but I used to perch the phone in 2 tree branches, and I used to hit the button hoping it would start, stand back a couple of steps, and then there were a flock of ducks behind me walking by. I mean, it was good stuff. It was great. It was like high production value. And, I did what I could. I really enjoyed talking about music, and I still do. So I guess mission accomplished. But this whole thing about Arnel, it's sad. I like Arnel. I think Arnel's a good guy. I think he was put in a very difficult situation. I don't think he should attend political events with strange people that you can't identify, which causes even more turmoil and maybe even more rumors to fly. And then, you've got the stuff on Twitter, which I think was really dark, and whoever's doing that should probably stop doing that. Again, this has gone way beyond just a feud between guys who don't get along in a rock band. This has gotten a little bit too much. Like not a lot, but many of the old school fans are like, this is unrecognizable. I mean, look, Steve Perry, you can thank him because he kind of started a lot of this drama back in the day. And it's not as if Perry wasn't abused by the band and the management and his ex-girlfriend, and he had a difficult childhood. So there are a lot of things that led to Steve Perry saying, screw you, screw this. I don't want to do this anymore. I totally get that. If he and I sat down, me and Steve Perry, I would say, dude, I totally get this. I totally get it. I mean, I do a little YouTube channel and I get like 0.1% of what you had to deal with. And then I'm sure Perry is still dealing with a lot of crap that he doesn't want to deal with, just because you want privacy. You want people to leave you alone at some point. You don't mind the initial inquiries, but it's the never-ending nonstop. This is when all of humanity is focused on just you, and you're thinking to yourself, I didn't ask for this. That's why you've got guys like Eric Clapton. And I mention Eric because he doesn't like any of this stuff. He just wants to play the music. He wants to hang out with his family, and he loves a lot of different styles of music, and he's just a good guy. You know, I had a chance to sort of converse with him back and forth for a while, and just a really good human being. And there aren't a lot of really good human beings in the music business, at least, you know, from where I sit. Of course, they haven't really made themselves known to me because, again, I tend to talk about politics, and that causes a problem. So, yeah, Joe Lynn Turner is another really good guy. Ted Nugent was interesting. Who else did I talk to? I mean, there have been a few of them out there that have been very interesting. Jim Peterick was one of the smartest, most interesting guys in the music business that I've spoken with, because he's in my wheelhouse. The music that he made, the songs that he wrote, to work with Jimmy Jamison, that is, man, that guy definitely had a sweet spot in the music world, and continues even to this day to write, produce, and come up with new material that a lot of times just comes and goes. I mean, it's out there, though. You can go listen to it. Pride of Lions and stuff like that. So in any event, people, good luck to Arnel and John. And we'll see. I think, again, this has to get to the end. I mean, they've got to get through this first leg, and then whatever happens after that is anyone's guess. But if I'm management, I call a meeting at the end of this and I say, you know what, guys, if you want to continue the back and forth, the whole, you know, Facebook, Twitter, all of this stuff, don't take any pictures. Let the photographer take the pictures of you guys out on stage. Don't say anything negative about anybody. At least get to a certain point. You know, down the road, somebody, either somebody who was in the band or somebody who's still in the band, is going to write a tell-all book about everything and everybody, and it's going to sell a lot of copies. And there's so much material to work with that, you know, you could have the John Cain perspective, the Neal Schon perspective, the Arnel perspective, the Jeff Scott Soto perspective, the Steve Perry, even the Steve Augeri perspective. I mean, everybody could write a book. And all those books I'd be interested in reading. And so anyway, folks, here's Tommy DeCarlo. Here's a guy with absolutely no ego, who loves music, who grew up listening to a lot of the same music that I listen to. He and I are about the same age, and we have stuff in common, you know, and us geezers, we have to stick together. Difference between him and me is he can sing and I can't. So that's why, you know, I look up to somebody like that. Just really cool. Dancing in the Moonlight. Check it out. Tommy DeCarlo. He's cool. I'm really not. I'm Dave. I'll see you soon.